The NBA playoffs start April 16th, and with the play-in games, there are now 20 teams vying for the NBA championship. The 2022 playoffs give you up to 9 weeks of action, with game number 1 of the NBA Finals not even tipping off until June 2nd. Last year, the NBA playoff package was listed for $249, but we've made it even better this year by lowering the entire 9-week playoff package to $199. While the early bird catches the worm may be a cliche, but it holds true to this incredible offer. The first 99 customers can use the coupon code FIRST99 and save an additional $50 off the playoff package, dropping the price down to $149. That's right, 9 weeks of NBA action for $149. That's under $17 per week. Act fast to use code FIRST99, as only the first 99 customers can use this code.
Hey guys, welcome in a very, let's see, today is Friday, I believe. Yes, it is. It is the 15th of April, which means we're halfway there, and we've got one more stop left, I believe, on our way to the Kentucky Derby. And that would be back at Keeneland for the Lexington Stakes. And who better to help break down this final Derby trail race than the pundits themselves? Marco D'Angelo in the house, Sig here. And exciting, guys. I feel like it's we're in the backstretch, so to speak, here as the Derby just around the corner, but still opportunities here for these horses coming up this weekend. What you think of the bluegrass there, Marco? Any surprises for you there? It seemed pretty cut and dry, pretty chalky, pretty much. I believe both you guys nailed it. So congrats.
Yeah, I had it on my ticket in the combination, but I'm sure in a couple seconds you're going to hear somebody patting himself on the back and dislocating their shoulder because they had it ice cold trifecta, and like you said, it was pretty chalky, so what do you expect?
Sig, you know who he's talking about at all? Do you have any of that chalk left over from last week, man? Congrats, very well. Nice job there in the bluegrass. And your thoughts pretty much went exactly the way you thought it was going.
Yeah, Joe, the band Outkast had a song probably back about 10, 15 years ago called Hey Yeah. They asked the question, what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold. And that was what our trifecta was on last week's Bluegrass, going 1, 2, and 3 on our top 3 selections on the show here. Hoping we can keep it up here this week with the Lexington. But looking forward, we're getting at this after this weekend. We're back in the Triple Crown season. We got Derby, Preakness, and Belmont coming up, and it's going to be one heck of a 3-year-old season.
I like how you said it 10 years ago they had a song. Good Christ, that was like 20 years ago. Oh, my God, Sig. All right. Even our producer, I was going like 10 years. Oh, my goodness. We do have some races to get through here this weekend as well. We're going to hit the Lexington Stakes. Before we do, I will invite you guys to head over to WagerTalk.com, visit Marco, and visit Sig's page. Marco continuing to be red hot here, guys. Opportunities galore for you guys, and no better way to take advantage of not only the MLB, but the NHL, the NBA with Marco, a 3-day all-access package, just $59 right now. You'll get every one of his NBA, MLB, NHL, and, of course, all his horse selections here this weekend. And get ready because baseball continuing to roll here for $59. That'll include all his 5% plays at WagerTalk.com. And, of course, Sig locked in, guys, at the track, getting ready for the Derby, too. You heard it there. He hit it cold last week. Big day of racing coming up tomorrow. Grab his daily racing report at WT.buzz/Sig over at WagerTalk.com. All right, gentlemen, let's dive in here to the Lexington. And let me see, this is a 20-1. So, Sig, we're going to start with you. Of course we are. So let's start with Midnight Chrome, 20-1 here, Sig. And Marco was nice enough to let you kick us off and pass first. So what do you think here about Midnight Chrome?
Oh, Joe, yeah, Midnight Chrome is a California Chrome colt that's only raced once so far this year, and that was on the turf at Gulfstream in an allowance race last month. He finished third in that outing there. He closed out his 2-year-old season, though, running third to Mo Donegal, who won the Wood, and Zandon, who won the Bluegrass both last week. But he was almost 10 lengths behind him at Aqueduct back in December. He only has 2 Derby points here, so even a win won't get him into the starting gate at Churchill that first Saturday in May. But picking up a piece of that $400,000 purse never hurts. While I was a big fan of his Sour California Chrome, Midnight Chrome's going to be a toss here for me.
All right, there we go. One toss it is. Marco. Oh, look at this. 3-1. In due time. Talk to me, Paco Lopez. What do you think?
All right, don't even start on what horses I got to do this week, okay? You guys remember last week's show. Don't even start, Joe. Yeah, I've got a favorite here in due time, and it's about time that I get to talk about a horse in single digits. In due time, if you remember the Fountain of Youth, the race that was marred by the accident at the top of the stretch, well, the culprit in that accident was in due time. This horse had a ton of pace, but nowhere to go. Well, Paco Lopez says, you know what? If I got horse, but I got nowhere to go, there's only one way to go, and that's force my way out. And he went into tight quarters, clipped heels, and caused a bad accident. He ended up getting a 14-day suspension for that drive. He's back on in due time. Fortunately, none of the horses were hurt in that race, and the jockeys were able to walk away as well, which was a miracle in itself. But if you looked at that race and saw that with the trouble and then everything that happened, that once he did get clear, this horse was flying for a clear second, which makes him a logical choice in this race to be used on your trifecta. He is definitely a win candidate. Now, I look at the Fountain of Youth in general, and I don't think it was the toughest of fields. So I'm not going to get too overly excited about that second place performance in that race. But given the competition in this race, he should be able to be 1, 2, 3 in this ticket, in this race. He'll be on my ticket. I do like him. I don't like him to win. You'll find out who I have on top later in the show.
All right, good stuff there. Moving on, and we all see it, number 3. And don't worry, Sig, we all see what Marco's doing here. I'm going to guess that you probably weren't at Indiana Grand when he broke his maiden here at 20-1. But go ahead. What do you got for us here on number 3?
Indiana Grand looks like it was Ellis Park to me here. But, Joe, I was just distracted for a moment. We were live on today's sheet in the Pick 5. And I was actually caught up on watching Keeneland there. Looks like we closed it out, but it looks like the favorite is the one that brought it home. So won't pay balloons, but it will pay. But let's get back here to the show. The 3, we all see it. He's coming out of fairgrounds here, and the horses coming out of fairgrounds historically do find success at Keeneland. But this Street Sense colt trained by Eddie Keneally is going to have his work cut out for him. First, he's going to be making his first stake race ever. And then second, he's going to be racing without Lasix, which he's been on for his last 5 races, including his maiden-breaking win at Indiana Grand. The only positive I see for this colt is that Luis Saez picks up the mount here, and his most recent work over the Keeneland surface here was very quick. If you guys take a look around, we all see it. This horse is a toss for me.
All right, 2 tosses. Not that I'm counting, Sig. Keep rooting home that Pick 5. Come on, Marco. Let's talk Ethereal Road to your boy, Dwayne Lucas here. Victor Espinoza on top. 10-1 here on a morning line. What do you think?
Well, a couple things to point out. Yes, I was high on this horse last week. I thought he could hit the ticket. And yes, did you hear me say last week? This horse raced in the Bluegrass, but doesn't have enough points for the Kentucky Derby. And Dwayne Lucas is making a bold move here, trying to win this race to get enough points. There's 3 horses in this field on Saturday that can get themselves in the Derby. 2 of them need to win. 1 of them just needs to finish in the top 4 and will make the Derby. This is one of the ones that needs to win. Now, if you go 2 back, the horse did everything but win the race. Last time out, it was a dull effort. He did get bumped a couple times in the stretch. He was in tight quarters for most of the race, not a style that the horse likes to be. He generally is coming from behind and, not in tight quarters. Let's see what they do with him this week. He switches from an outside post to middle of the pack. got to use them on the ticket. On the bottom end, I think there are better horses in here, and I'm not a fan of racing this horse back in 1 week. Now, obviously, in harness racing, the horses I use, they do that all the time, so it can be done. But thoroughbreds generally don't race back in 7 days. So this is a big step for him, but they're trying to get him into Derby, so at least you know he's a try. The other thing is I like the jockey switch to Victor Espinosa. This should be able to get the horse a good trip and be part of the ticket. And at 10-1, we might need a little bit of odds to fatten up if the favorite gets there. So put them on the bottom end. Ethereal Road, I can't pitch.
A little old school, too, isn't it, Marco, right? I mean, Secretariat used to race every week, too, didn't they, back in the day? They used to do this all the time. Now they only race 3 times and they retire. We can't be arguing with this, but he ain't going to hit the board. Who we kidding? All right, well, listen, Sig's on the phone, so we'll hold up. I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk about your favorite, and I mean favorite, of the trainer here, Marco, with Howling Time. I know you and Dale Romans, in fact, I believe you guys might be vacationing together soon here with Joe Talamo, also another favorite of yours. Howling Time, talk to me. What do you think here?
This is Sig's horse, and I think he's ready. He might have some inside information because he's nodding on the phone. Yeah, either that or it's a bill collector. That pick 5 didn't pay enough to cover the ticket. I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute, no, and that is that the finger? I'm not sure what Sig's giving us there, but all right. Well, we'll come back to Sig as soon as he puts down that Motorola flip phone.
He wants you. He wants you.
Are you ready, Sig? All right, Sig, go ahead. What do you got? Go ahead. Is that Dale Romans?
It actually is. Mr. Romans, hold on for just a second.
Oh, okay, good.
I know Howling Time's in the race here. I will make sure that I cover him and Marco doesn't have him.
Oh.
I understand your feelings about Marco, and good luck to you tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, nice. Bye. Very good.
I'm sorry about that, Joe. Dale Romans called. He said he didn't want Marco talking about his horses anymore. He asked me to put a good word in for Howling Time here. But what he didn't know is that for a colt that started his career with a ton of promise, with a maiden-breaking win on debut, followed up by a victory in the Lexington Stakes, both at Churchill, this Romans horse has not progressed off of those first 2 starts here. He finished 5th in the Kentucky Jockey Club in November behind Smile Happy, Classic Causeway, and White Abario, who have all earned a spot in the Kentucky Derby starting gate. And his only race as a 3-year-old was the Fountain of Youth Stakes. He was on the early pace, but faded, finishing more than 20 lengths behind the winner here. While his works appear to be quick, something does not seem right about this colt as he's basically been Jekyll and Hyde here his entire career. I won't be taking a chance on him. Sorry, Mr. Romans. He's a toss for me.
God, 3 tosses in a row, and Romans called you just to butter you up, and you still tossed him. Ridiculous. All right, number 6. Let's go. Moving on. Skate to heaven here, Marco. And what do we got? A 30-1 shot. Nice. 30-1 morning line here. I have a feeling I know where this horse is going. What do you think of number 6 there, Marco?
Yeah, well, I'm going to see, unlike my esteemed colleague, I'll find something nice to say about the horse. He raced real nice after the ultimate equipment change last time out. They took him in behind the barn and they removed a set of and made him a gelding, and he ran like his ass was on fire last time. Got up there and said, "Hey, no more equipment changes. I get it. I figured it out." But honestly. He does have a license to jump up here. He's only had 4 career starts, and after a couple-month layoff, he returns a little more aerodynamic there with a couple things taken off, and he responds with a win. He did jump up 12 points in the Equibase points speed figures with that. So would that be enough to get him to run on the bottom end of the try? Possible, but I'm going to look elsewhere, and the reason for that is nothing against, and I'm running out of trainers that I haven't got mad at me or not, but Diodoro is a good trainer at those Midwest tracks, the smaller tracks. When he gets on the big stage, I'm not as big of a fan of his, and I just want to point out David Cohen was in an accident last week This guy has hit the dirt a few times this year. It's got to make him a little bit, cautious with his riding. Those are two things I don't like for a horse that's stepping up in class. I'll go ahead and pass, but it would not surprise me if he did sneak on the bottom of a superfecta.
Yeah, you get only one shot at those types of equipment changes there, Marco, so you better make it count. Moving on, number 7, Major General. 4-1 here, and the old Pletcher Ortiz Jr. Is what we're dealing with here, Sig. What do you think of Major General, number 7?
Yeah, Joe, Major General is actually the first horse to earn any Derby points for this year's Derby when he won the Iroquois back in Churchill last September. He started his career with 2 wins, breaking maiden debut at Saratoga, followed up by the Iroquois win. But then he had 6 months off here for Pletcher. I couldn't find any information if he had an injury or if they were just giving him the rest there. But he returned to Tampa Bay Downs here for the Tampa Bay Derby back in March. Made his 3-year-old debut, and he broke poorly in that race, never recovered. Finished 25 lengths behind the winner in their Classic Causeway in 10th place. As we discussed on last week's show about the Bluegrass, the Tampa Bay Downs path to the Derby may have been not the most talented, to put it nicely, of the paths to the Derby this year after Classic Causeway finished last in the Florida Derby. Like you mentioned, Irad Ortiz does take the mount for Todd Pletcher, and they're adding blinkers here, hoping to get this colt a lot more focused here. I expect a better performance than what he showed in the Tampa Bay Derby, but it's going to take a huge improvement for this colt to be a contender in this field. I'm going to use him underneath on some tickets. I can never overlook that Pletcher-Ortiz combo here, but I don't think he has a win shot in this field.
All right, moving on, number 8. Let's talk about Strava here. Dallas Stewart and I don't know, is Gaffleon right in this one here, Marco? We are looking at about a 20-1 shot here on the morning line. What do you think?
Yeah, this horse is interesting. He comes in, this is the 3rd start off the layoff, and that is always generally the best in the form cycle. Now, speaking of the form cycle, this is a horse that broke his maiden first asking and then come back and race the 2nd and a 3rd. In allowance non-winners of 1, but has not tested himself against Stakes Company. He's going to get that test this week. They are putting blinkers on, which tells me they're going to try to send this horse out of the gate. He's got an outside post position, needs to get in the mix. He likes to race mid-pack and then make his move in that last turn. I don't know that that's going to be the winning move in this race. You got a shorter stretch here at Keeneland. Also, Tyler Gaffleon, this is a horse, he rode him last time out, finished 3rd, didn't ride him 2 back, but did ride him in his win. So he is familiar with this horse. My concern, though, is Dallas Stewart, who is a decent trainer, is in an ice-cold slump right now. His last 28 starts, no wins. That's a little bit of a concern. We'll see what happens, though, but I think this horse has a license to improve. Only 3 career starts. I talk about that all the time. These horses with just 3 or 4 starts can make that big jump. This is not an overpowering field. I think at a price, he could spice up your trifecta. I think you're going to find him on my ticket when we end the show.
Ooh, all right. Nice number there. How about number 9, Tawny Port, Sig with Brad Cox and Giroux on top. Already got 40 Derby points here, 5-2 on the morning line. What do you think?
Yeah, Joe, he does have those 40 Derby points, and right now that's what the cutoff point is for the horses to get into the Derby. 40 is the top 20 are at 40 points or better here. He finished second at Tiz the Bomb in the Jeff Ruby Stakes just a couple weeks ago here at Turfway. And the Connections decided they want to control their own destiny here. They want to avoid a chance of getting shut out of the starting gate of the Kentucky Derby. The cutoff, like I said, it's at 40 here. As long as he finishes 4th or better in here, he's going to earn a point enough to get himself into the starting gate. While he has 2 wins in the 2nd over the Tapeta surface at Turfway Park here, his only dirt race was at Fairgrounds in the Risen Star, where he finished 5th in that race. It was a pretty quality field there, Epicenter, Smile Happy, and Zandon all finished ahead of him in that race there. Excuse me. He's out of Pioneer the Now, and he appears to be the fastest horse in this field. Should things go his way here, unless he bounces after only coming back on 2 weeks rest here, which is horses like baseball pitchers nowadays. They used to run every couple weeks. They would run. You go back and you look at a past performance for somebody, say like a Secretariat or a Warfront or so forth. They weren't getting these month and 2 month layoffs between starts in here. But these new training styles usually leave at least a month between starts for these younger horses. I expect Tawny Port to go to the front early here, and Drew's going to try to take them wire to wire, securing this coldest spot in the Kentucky Derby starting field in just a few weeks. He's one of the top win contenders for me.
Yep. They also didn't retire after 4 races. Number 10, Dash Attack. Let's look at a 10-1 morning line here. Kenny McPeak, David Cohen, Dash Attack. What do you think?
This is an interesting horse, Joe, and I know that there's a lot of wise guys that like Dash Attack. I'm having trouble jumping on board a horse that's going in the wrong direction. This horse made his debut last December at Oaklawn Park, and bang-up performance, win in hand at 10-1 odds, and put up a big speed figure for that late in the season, a 94 on the Equibase speed figs. That is good for a 2-year-old. Then come back, win a second start in January, and then after that, but was a slower speed figure. The next 2 races to start this season on the Derby Trail, not good. He finished 5th and finished 7th, and both of those speed figures declining. So now we've got 3 races in a row where the horse has gone slower. You can try to make excuses for the horse. Maybe he had traffic trouble, this and that, but I'm not buying it. The only thing I can say is you heard me talk about David Cohen on another horse in this race. They made a jockey switch here to Flavian Pratt. Now, it's not a situation where David Cohen, picked between the 2 horses. He always rides for Diodoro. So I don't think he was ever in the mix for this to take Dash Attack here. But Flavian Pratt is a huge upgrade over David Cohen. Nothing against David Cohen, but he's just not Flavian Pratt. If he can wake this horse up, yes, the horse has a shot. And I think that's why people are, flocking to Dash Attack at 10-1. I don't think he's going to go off 10-1. If they think Flavian Pratt's going to make that much of a difference, you'll see it at the window, and this horse will be single digits. I need double digits to use this horse in this race, but I'm not going to be shocked if he runs on the ticket.
All right, good stuff there. Let's talk the final horse here, number 11, Call Me Midnight. Demeraux, James Graham here at 6-1, Sig. What do you think?
It's a good question, Joe. What do you do with the horse that upset the likely morning line favorite for the Kentucky Derby and Epicenter here a couple races back in the Lecomte? It seems like an eon ago, though, that Jimmy Graham came flying late with Call Me Midnight in the Lecomte to pick off Epicenter, who was having his own battle with Papacap down the stretch line. He stole the victory there by a head. In his next race to the Louisiana Derby, he broke slow and never recovered. He finished 6th in that race. But if you look at the recent results, he came up big in the Lecomte after finishing 7th in the Kentucky Jockey Club. So he may be sitting on a big race looking at the patterns here with a poor race and then a good race, a poor race in his previous race. There may be another big effort there. His trainer, Keith DeSormo, has been known to surprise here with a number of his trainees. While I don't think Call Me Midnight wins in this spot here, I think he puts out a big effort. And with his late closing ability, I think you need to use him underneath on your exotic tickets.
All right, good stuff there, guys. Well, 11 horses here to Lexington Stakes. This is the final opportunity for these horses to make it to the Derby. So when you put it all together, Marco, tell us what's on your card here for the Lexington Stakes.
Well, I'm going to go to the 9 horse, and that is Tawny Port. This is a horse that right now is in the Derby if nobody else gets points and jumps over him because he's in the 20. All he needs to do is hit the board and get any points at all, and he guarantees himself in the Derby. And I think this is the horse to beat in this race. Brad Cox, what can you say about him? The last 2 years he's dominated, and he's got his top call for a rider in Giroux on the horse. So I'm going with Tawny Port. He is the horse to beat. He has tactical speed where he can sit just off the pace and make his move. And that race against Tiz the Bomb, if you look back at that race, that was a pretty good race in Jeff Ruby Stakes. I don't think they're given enough credit for the horses coming out of that one. I think Tawny Port on top, the deserved 5-2 morning line favorite. Second, I got to put In Due Time. The horse had a lot of pace left in that Florida Derby, minus the accident there. Still was able to re-engage after he got to the outside and into a clear path. Did accelerate and close on to be second. So I'm going to look for him to be on the ticket, but I have him third. I'm going to go for a little bit of a price second, and that is the 7 horse, going with the General there on Major General. This is a horse that, you know what, he's disappointed so far, but that was his first start after a very long layoff, and he stumbled coming out of the gate. If that was the reason for the Dahl effort, I mean, once you come out of the gate and you go to your knees, basically, he was out of that race. Never picked up his feet the rest of the way. I would have liked to have seen him show some life, and I would feel more confident with him. But I got to trust Todd Pletcher and the combination of Irad Ortiz Jr. on there. I look for him to be second, look for the 2 to be third, and my price horse is the 8. I talked about him. This is a horse that adds blinkers. I think he's going to be closer to the mix, and if you go back and look at that race against Cyberknife, I think Cyberknife's going to get a lot of money going into the Derby. Another one of Brad Cox's horses, and he did run a good race against that horse. He has a license to improve, and any improvement over what I feel is a mediocre field here will get him on the ticket. So for me, it's 9-7-2-8.
9-7-2-8 here for the Lexington. Let's see it here, Sig. How many evens? How many odds you got? A little mix of both there from Marco. How about you?
I went the same way there, Joe. Little 2 even and 2 odd horses here. You guys already heard my thoughts on Tawny Port. I do have him on top here at 5-2. My only concern is if Brad Cox does instruct Giroux not to use him up, knowing he's only coming back on a few weeks rest with the Derby coming up in 3 weeks, they may just try to finish in the top 4 just to get that extra point to guarantee their Derby gate spot. I did land on number 2, In Due Time, in the second spot there. After his runner-up finish in the Fountain of Youth, I was really surprised we didn't see him in one of last week's Derby prep races. But he turns up here, and he could still get himself a spot in the starting gate at Churchill with the victory in this spot. I don't expect much pace in this field, so I expect Paco Lopez to keep this colt just off the early leaders and make that move on the far turn like he did in the Fountain of Youth, with plans to make with plans to make a move down the stretch there. And if they get a victory there, they'll plan on just making the drive over to Louisville, about an hour away from Lexington. The 8 horse is my long shot pick in here. I know Marco just talked about him too here. But Strava, he's definitely the most interesting horse in this field. He's very lightly. Marco's said a lot of this already, but he's very lightly raced. It's only his 4th career start. Second and third in allowance races after breaking his maiden on debut. Dallas Stewart is in the blinkers here, and this horse has been working very fast in the mornings here. Gaff Leon picks up the ride. He's been on 2 of his 3 starts here. He's one of the top riders at Keeneland, along with Irad Ortiz and Flavian Pratt. The time off should not be a problem here, as he finished second in his second start after a pretty long layoff here. That was a 3-month layoff. So hopefully the blinkers are going to keep him a little more focused here. If you remember, too, he broke through the gate in his last start, and then they still raced him in here. So hopefully the blinkers are going to keep him a little more relaxed in the gate here. He used up a little bit of energy. Hopefully he can just bring that right back in and use that in the race here. At 20-1, I love the price on this horse. And then I finished up. I just talked to you guys about Call Me Midnight. I think with that closing ability, he definitely has a shot to hit your tickets here. So for me, it is 9-2-8-11.
9, 2, 8, and 11 for Sig here, guys. The Lexington, the final shot here for some of these horses to be able to make the trek and qualify for the Kentucky Derby. Only one of the 11's got enough points right now. So this is a big race here for some of these horses, jockeys, trainers, and owners. So it should be an interesting race there. Race, I believe, is it number 11? I think it's number 11 there. Number 9, right? 11 horses in the 9th there at Lexington. But the bottom line is, if you head over to WagerTalk.com right now, you can pick up Sig's daily racing report. Guys, get it delivered right to your box there each and every race day. WT.buzz/Sig. He'll break down all the day's races that he is on. Check that out. He just told you about I believe the pick 5 here that he was in today. Looks like that one was a cha-ching here. Make sure that you go ahead and visit his page directly over at WagerTalk and sign up for those daily race reports. WT.buzz/Sig, and get ready for a huge, and I mean a huge, sports weekend here. NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, and Marco continuing to dominate. You get every one of his MLB plays, his NHL plays, his NBA plays, and of course, all his selections at the track this weekend. Just $59 right now, a 3-day all-access pass. Number 2 MLB handicapper at WagerTalk here, guys, last year. Absolutely crushed it, off to a great start again this year. And all his 5% plays, too. 3 days, $59, guys. Well worth heading over there, visiting Marco and Sig. And, of course, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. You'll get notified when we go live. It is crunch time. The Kentucky Derby just around the corner. And, of course, we'll have all sorts to say about that once all of these horses qualify and we know exactly who is in. But until then, on behalf of Marco and Sig, guys, we appreciate the time. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you visit them at WagerTalk.com. Make sure you come back and join us again for another Pony Pundits. So on behalf of these gentlemen, thank you very much. Good luck with your plays this weekend, guys. We'll talk to you again next week.
If you like betting on horses, be sure to check out WagerTalk.com's own Sig, who zeroes on one racetrack at a time, offering his handicapping skills. Visit his homepage daily for his top selection in each race free. If you want all his selections for that track, you can get his full racing report for just $9.